You know, when people think Oklahoma, very few think of elk hunting, quite frankly, because there are not a lot of elk in the state. In fact, one of the only ways to hunt elk in Oklahoma comes by way of one of the most difficult tags to draw in the U.S. It's the once-in-a-lifetime Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge tag, just outside of Lawton, Oklahoma. It only took my friend Clint Alford 15 years to draw it, and seriously, that's the fast track. It takes most people 3 decades. Oh, by the way, welcome to my home state of Oklahoma.
As you know, we examine sort of some of the conservation history, sportsman hunters that really were one of the fundamental parts of the development of conservation in this country. And I think that legacy carries forward today.
This is the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge Visitor Center that we're in this morning. All the hunters are getting signed up. It's a once-in-a-lifetime draw tag, so all these people have been putting in, some of them for 30 years.
My name's Clint Alford. I'm from Atoka, Oklahoma.
Hi.
It's a special hunt that's put on by the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife. We always put in for, everything we can, and especially the elk hunt, which is it's like the prize hunt that everyone wants for us once in a lifetime.
All right.
I think they have 30 to 40,000 applicants every year, and they don't draw very many tags.
For many of you, this is going to be your first elk hunt and probably your last elk hunt ever. So we want to make sure that you're successful.
I put in for the elk hunt for 15 years, and finally drew my either sex tag, basically a bull tag. We're driving out for our first tour of the area. We just got done checking in with our briefing. We're going to drive out now and just get a look at things, kind of pick an area we want to hunt, put out our flag, get it marked on the map. Just kind of take a look at things.
Back to the road at somewhat of a decent time, and want to go on that first trip back to the check station, that's up to you. If you want to be back in the deep dark jungle at an hour after dark, and watch it from there, that's fine too. Just come out to the road and I'll pick you up when I can.
They assign about 10 to 12 hunters to a unit, and then they just completely drive through that unit. Everybody places their flags down, kind of like you're seeing now. A couple of guys have decided this is a place that they want to start tomorrow. We really don't have any influence on Clint's decision on where to. And every once in a while they'll launch a rocket because Fort Sill's military base is over here. So if you heard that, that's what that is.
I'd heard that there's some long shots involved. It's wide open country. You need to be prepared to shoot pretty long distance.
But I mean, seriously, is that the only binoculars you brought?
This is it.
You're kidding. Tell me that you're lying.
This is really it.
Can you see those elk on the side of that hill over there with them?
There's elk over there?
Exactly. Anytime that you find a specific point that you want to put your flag, that's where you're going to start hunting the very next day. You just have no idea what's good, what's bad. We're still anxiously waiting to see where our hunter puts his flag down at. This is what Theodore Roosevelt had intended when he set aside the national park system and set aside areas where wild could continue to be wild, where animals would be protected and taken care of.
Mark our spot, start in the morning.
What we decided to do was just put our flag basically where we started, at the entrance of the unit that we were hunting. We just wanted to begin right there because we felt like we had just as good a chance as anybody.
The hour limit is 2.5 days to hunt, which is really not a long time when it comes down to it, especially if you're picky, on the first day, because there's so much country to cover, and you've never been here before, so you want to try to kind of get an idea of what's going on.
I told you that I didn't really want you to close it on the first morning, but if we see him in the morning, smack. And I can tell you right now, keeping him off that bull is gonna be like trying to keep a pit bull off a pork chop in the morning if he sees him. It's gonna be tough. If I had your tag and it was me,
So anyway, it's morning one. We're gonna fire it up, see if we can't get Peaches here at Elk. See if he can't make it happen. I think, like I said, I probably ought to carry a rope with me because I'll be snatching him back every time he's decided he want to kill something. Here hanging out, but you got to make the call. It's all your decision. But he's a really good bull. He just fell off over that edge too.
Oh yeah, 5x6.
He's a big 5.
We saw a big 5x that was exceptional bull. You know, we passed on just, hi, Mom. And we saw several, you know, really nice bulls that first morning. I had no idea really what kind of bulls they had here, you know, or what to expect. I kind of felt like when, you know, we had those good quality bulls around us the first day that just made me think, well, there's no telling what could be out here, so we want to, you know, hold off and get a look at things.
Just say it like it is. You're greedy.
Basically.
Like you said, I know you said you're going to be happy with just a, you know, nice mature bull, and they're everywhere right now. So,
Right.
you know, hopefully we can.
It's the first day we got time.
Elk, at one time the most broadly distributed ungulate in North America. If you go far enough back, just about any place that you might step foot in North America, you would find elk.
It's believed the elk that used to roam these hills that Clint and I are walking today were the Merriam's elk, which are now extinct and have been gone from this area for over 120 years. Around 1910, elk were reintroduced into this area of Oklahoma, but because the Merriam's elk were extinct, Rocky Mountain elk became the replacements, and obviously thriving, or we wouldn't be on this hunt. It's a conservation effort that makes the modern-day Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation very proud.
You know, I got my first experience on how important the wind is when you're elk hunting.
All right, so our boy has decided that he wants to wait. He's patient, he's gonna wait it out, and I'm out. I have nothing to do with it. He's making his own choices, his own decisions, so I'm just, I'm with you.
And we may regret it, but...
No, see, we may not regret it. We don't have a tag.
But it's still the first morning.
I hope it works out for you, buddy. Best of luck.
We talked to the biologists and stuff up here, and we decided that we was gonna make a move. Pretty rough country and hadn't been many people back in there. I don't know how high that mountain is, but for Oklahoma, it's a pretty good mountain. We glassed several bulls, quite a few elk. Still, just once again, wasn't anything that we, nothing as good as we seen the first day.
I guess 25 bulls he passed on yesterday, there wasn't any that was good enough, so now we're over here in what Oklahoma's version of Hell's Canyon is. Good job, by the way. I didn't tell you. I hope we didn't make a mistake yesterday. You feel nervous yet? Honestly?
Starting to get that way.
A little bit.
A lot of rough ground. I wouldn't recommend digging it to anybody. We was ready to get out of D unit. We made our way back to the road quick so we could find our guys and get back and try to regroup, get a new game plan.
Should have shot that bull yesterday. Well, crunch time.
Our last afternoon.
Sweating yet?
Starting to.
You starting to sweat? I thought you said you weren't gonna get nervous until Thursday morning.
I'm not nervous yet.
You're not nervous?
I got confidence still.
Yeah. We kind of come to another game plan. So we've hunted the A unit here at the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge. We hunted the D unit, which, I wouldn't recommend that except to any extreme backpacker. I didn't know if I mentioned this to you yet, but they've had a 100% success rate on bulls killed this year.
We're not gonna let them down.
So it's coming down to you. So we got this afternoon's hunt and tomorrow morning's hunt. And then the once-in-a-lifetime experience is over with.
It's getting down to the wire, I was starting to get, a little nervous about what we'd done. I didn't want it to come down the last morning. There's just too many variables that could go wrong. I really wanted to, try to get something done that evening, if at all possible.
Would have been money had it been the bulls we're looking for.
Started seeing elk right off the bat. Finally got our way up to a vantage point where we could get up and do some glassing, watch the hillside on the opposite side. We spotted a smaller bull right off the bat, and we just kind of got watching, and pretty soon the tree would move, and we started picking out elk in the timber, and we saw a bull that looked like a better bull, something we might be interested in taking.
We've got some bulls right here. We got 3 bulls. They look like 2 5x5s and a smaller bull, and maybe a 5x5.
Being the last evening that, it was a bull I was happy with, and we was gonna try to set up on him.
I just think he's got length. He's a good-looking bull. If I wasn't here and you're by yourself, what would you do?
I'd probably shoot him.
And the story's over. Let's go.
Let's move up on him. Decided to go ahead and take him.
he's down. He's going down right there. He's going down. Go ahead and get one. That, wow. That was
Smoked him. It's sure,
you know
I don't
what?
think it's the best bull we've seen.
Well, it might not be the best bull we've seen, but I think it may be the oldest bull we've seen. I really do. You know, they tell you, they say, hey, you know, you got 2.5 days, take your time. Well,
Lots of animals. I mean, it's just tons of animals. I learned that you shouldn't pass anything the first day that you'd be willing to take the last day.
he's right there. Which I know we've seen him fall.
I'm more than happy with the bull I got.
Solid. Wow.
Sweet. That is awesome. That is awesome.
And that's what the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation is all about. That's what this place we're hunting is all about. That's what conservation is all about, is this story in this show right here.
This is a special deal, you know, the opportunity to draw a once-in-a-lifetime tag like this, and this is just a fantastic bull. So, congratulations once again.
I'm happy
For you. I know you're happy.
I appreciate it, man.
And if you're happy, we're all happy. He's a really good bull, and I tell you what, I'm glad that you got him, because you'll never ever be back here. This is a one-shot deal.
2.5 days is not a lot of time on any hunt, much less an elk hunt with hardly any scouting. But Clint has done something very few people will ever do, and that's kill a bull elk in Oklahoma. So congrats. Hey, a big thank you to the whole staff at the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge for what they do year-round. If you're in that part of the country, or if you have a National Wildlife Refuge around your area, get outside, go check it out. I promise you won't be disappointed. And remember, you too can become a member of Team Elk. Just go to teamelk.org to find out how. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Team Elk.